Hi, everyone. Kathleen Francis here at the Humankind Center with our wonderful studio that has been made available to us. And we're going to bring an interview to you with someone who has been a staple in the Sedona community. She's well known and well loved, and her name is Raven. Raven, welcome to our Humankind Podcast.
Oh, thank you. I just feel the family. It's just really a lovely, warm glow.
Yes. So for our audience, would you give us a kind of encapsulated picture of who you are and what you're all about?
Well, thank you. It's a long story, but today I'm just Raven De La Croix.
What a great name.
And thank you. And I've been in the Sedona area probably close to 20 years, and I've been involved in various things of bringing consciousness one way or the other with putting on events at the Creative Life Center. There was a period of that, bringing Bashar in,
Bashar.
to that. And
yes, your conversation a little earlier, and by the way, of course, Giancarlo and our beautiful love are here, and they're certainly adept at jumping in with any questions that we might want to entertain. But, for you to have brought Bashar to Sedona, and I shared before that this was someone that I knew. I must have been at your home seeing him. I had all the old Bashar tapes. It was kind of synchronistic that you show up and you're wearing a necklace that was purchased at my shop that was given as a gift. Yes, I mean, my dear friends Ashley and Tyler are my dear friends. Yeah.
Mine too, lovely people.
Yes, lovely. So please, continue.
So like I knew when I came to Sedona that I thought, okay, we're all alike and this is going to be great. And then I realized that any kind of PowerPoint has everything. So it, all types of people, all types of agendas, people that are genuine, people that aren't. And so it was like right there in one hub. So it kind of was a refining thing for me where you choose your frequency, you choose rather than be all, but yet it's not a criticism or a make wrong of anything. Being a witness is you allow things to be as it is. We're all players in this simulation. Mm-hmm. And so after all those experiences and all the things you studied, you go, God, if you took all the vitamins every single day that you need to do in order to make yourself, not die too soon and fall apart. And then if you studied and read all the books, I says, what is it doing? The tumultuousness is still on the planet. And I'm not political, but I look at the whole overview like a manager or looking from that point of view. So I don't have sides. I don't have all of that judgment. I don't have any of that. But I'm going, okay, well, how do those that want to navigate in the sea of energy, how do we do this and be whole? And how do we get there? We can want it. We can meditate. And long story short, all those things, there's still the same people who come to me because I've had Raven's Haven Portal Retreat in Sedona for 15 years, and then I moved to a fabulous place, Raven's Haven, in Clarkdale. Just a lovely retreat now that I have.
So you have a retreat center?
I do have
Raven?
a retreat center.
And it's called
Raven's Haven.
How do people connect with you?
You can see me online. I'm actually with the Chamber of Commerce. Oh, no, I am, but the SMSA, Spiritual Metaphysical Association. And there's like a readout. You can contact me through, directly.
Is there a 928.
Website? The website is now because Raven's Wing is new. So I'm redesigning because it has to come local. So now I'm bringing all this local so all of us can have the advantage of being on the same team. And with the layout of what I've discovered, pulling all these wonderful people that you know and love, and they're the eyes, nose, ears of a whole new reality that's not really new, but to where this, applying this through the 8 dynamics that we survive through. And the first one is self. And we're always in the second one. We got kids and we have groups and families and careers and cars and stuff.
All the distractions.
All the distractions. And we're doing that, and then something keeps on caving in. And it turns out that it's the first dynamic. It's the self. And, you can study with somebody, but there's a genuine I am present knowingness that you get to. It's not knowing about something. It's the knowingness, the inner knowingness. And then there's these wonderful methods, like that beautiful meditation that you gave, and the sound that you provided, and the breath that I could hear you breathing. I mean, that needs to be all the time. It's the whole new world. You don't go on Sunday or Saturday. You go, every single moment is real. So through these 8 dynamics, the first being the self, the second being significant relationships, part B is children, the third is any kind of group you have, the fourth is your relation to mankind. Are you a deficit, or are you an asset? And it's not a judgment or a criticism. It's a condition that you manage you. And then the fifth dynamic is plants, animals, and living things. The sixth dynamic is the condition of your stuff. The seventh is your connection to source and spirituality. The eighth is ethics and integrity and that kind of a thing. And then you redo it so that there's actually information of how you can up each of those things. What's your ideal scene? What's your ideal scene? Who have you become? Not who you were. Who are you now, and who have you become? And there's that to
and I mean, if I may, you are one of the elders, and what the benefit is of that is you have accumulated and you have observed so much of the evolution of consciousness. And I mean, I've been a seeker my whole life from the time I was little, and I know that both of them have as well. But
I'm still little.
Yeah, but you have gathered information, and we all are. But you two are younger. But to have the wisdom then integrating into all of the modalities that you've studied, being able to disseminate information from your consolidation of your witnessing, what you have had as your flow to your consciousness, where it gets filtered through the resonance of this feels right, that does. And boy, when you mentioned about there have been charlatans, I've been at the effect of some of them myself. And, there's that old precept, I'll bet Raven. If you can manage to be here for 3 years and not spit out by Sedona, you might be able to stay. Sedona can beat people up pretty badly.
I think it's just a wake-up call to claim who you are and just to own yourself. Know what you know and burn brightly. It's not about anything or anyone else, because your frequency is your currency.
Yes,
and
I love that.
So that's what we were taught, that it was selfish to focus on the self. But it isn't, because every dynamic that I described is totally effect of the condition that you're in the first dynamic. So to master yourself, but this technology, I've had all these wonderful people that we all know and love. It's not my thing. I'm just the producer of putting the pieces and the waves so that they're applicable, weaving that in and acknowledging all of those being. It's not my technology. It's just that I learned how to communicate and put together things that are harmonic in an order that when you finish, you feel the change. You are the change. And it doesn't take 6 years or 6 months or, it happens as you're learning the way it's being presented.
Now, all of the studies that we've all done, but ultimately, doesn't it bring you to the place of just this level of self-acceptance that I think has been interfered with? The essence of who we really are has just been interfered with. It's about clearing it away to the essence of who we really are. And I mean, about a week or so ago, I heard this in my head. Aren't you tired of being who you really aren't? So is that what the work that you do? You have a vision for what you were talking about earlier. You have a new title, I guess?
It's called Raven's Wing, because
and what does that mean?
I've been doing what I'm talking about for decades. And then somebody just posed me a question because, the academy is going to be virtual, and people all over the world can do it. I've been working with people on this thing already actively for decades, but it's just that I was missing Raven's Wing, which I was doing in Raven's Haven, in Sedona, and in 6 years in Clarkdale.
Both great titles, by the way.
Thank you. But I've lived that. So I'm using this technology. it's applicable. It's like people come like out of Airbnb. They don't know me. You're not allowed to say what you really do on Airbnb, and they come in the door, they choose the pictures, and they feel at home. And then I learn, I don't ask anything. I just give space. My space is magical in that sense. You feel loving, with the pink and the blue and the beautiful plants, and everything is loving because, being oldest of 8 kids, I'm creating my own room. So Raven's Wing is where people come and I witness their situation, and then it just comes out, and I can refer them, and I give them not my thing, but here, these are these things. Look into that thing. So then I decided that I was already doing it, but now it's official. I'm working on, the final presentation so that people locally, and then plus people travel to come see me from all over the planet for like the last 20 years and things like that, to put it into a format so that people can access it themselves. They can do it online. It's great, in person, but some people can't get there, and they can access this. And
so I have a kind of sense of what you're saying, but so in other words, if people were going to look you up, what is it that they're coming to you for?
They're coming to actually apply. They're actually applying themselves to life mastery through a system that works every single time.
And is this through private sessions? Is this through workshops that you create?
All of the above. It's set up that here is the theory, here is the application, and there is the result. Right then and there. This is what you see, this is what you are, and then you're applying it to yourself. So it's very delicious because you're remolding. You talked to earlier that we're all remolding. Well, this is the steps without joining anything, without, believing in anything. It's just an application of where you want to go, how to get there, and it's a blast.
Is there something you could walk one of us through?
Well, in other words, in the first dynamic, say, if we're going to start there, it's, there's some pre-information that would get somebody to understand what that really looks like. So the first dynamic is you. So you look at, are you living your best life? Are you, what in your plans of being you are, what's the condition of what you want to do in life? Like now, your self-care.
Yeah, just to create the context for people to follow. You talk about these levels of dynamics. Where did you learn that?
Well, all the stuff that I'm speaking about, that I would speak about, and that I'm presenting are a compilation of all these great masters' work. It's just, instead of just being on a bookshelf, I found that I applied it and my conditions changed. My life changed. It works. I've been working with other people for about 3 or 4 decades, 3 at least, consistently. And so applying them, but I now then saw the vision of how someone else can just sit down and understanding certain principles. You don't have to join anything. You don't have to be a scientist. It's bits and pieces of the most essential stuff that you use as a tool, the knife and fork and
so first they would kind of assess what they feel is not there in their life.
Yeah, they would say, what does my first dynamic look like? Like for myself, I've been so service to others for so long, and then I'll rest later.
Anybody
the thing, right?
Yes.
And later, don't worry, I can do it. Because I'm passionate about the work. And people come through my place. I mean, I'm like busy 20 hours a day right now, even 20 hours a day, and then but still I'm practicing production by managing all the endless particles that are essential for me to be in this space, and so. I'm working coming from 1947, being born and not having a self and not having really a happy beginning and those kind of things, to creating this loving, beautiful environment where I'm living what I'm speaking. But I realized like a year and a half ago, my first dynamic is out. Not online.
You yourself.
Oh, God, yes. This is all self-taught.
You must have Mars and Aries on your chart.
No, I think I'm a Virgo, Leo, cusp, Libra, rising, Sagittarius.
But with all
somewhere.
that energy, you're like the little,
Energizer bunny.
Yes.
But it's like I know that time is whatever, but right now, like the rehearsal's over, And I'm still doing the same work I'm doing, but I'm totally so aware that my first dynamic has been pinched, and I don't know how I lived these incredible lives with the second, third, fourth, with married 5 times, like on and on. And so I've been working on the master class that I didn't know I had this last year and a half, still juggling the other dynamics because they're there, and refining those. And as I pay attention to self, I have all these vitamins, and I'm going, like I said, I don't have time to take them.
I know. My house looks like a vitamin store. It's ridiculous.
I should take a picture.
So when you take people through, first is the questioning. It allows them to question different things about themselves. And then from there, where do they move from there?
Well, the thing is there's since everybody that's anyone, even though the first dynamic is totally essential, they're involved in, even as babies, and the mother and the father and the groups and, whatever they can do as children. And then as we grow, we have more and more, each day these lists. And so I have so many that it's such a master training ground for me, because I'm not going to drop the other balls, but essentially it comes back to me. So I'm still in the master class, and I've been working with several other people who are also on similar pages. So I don't work as a teacher, I'm a way sharer.
Oh, that's a lovely
because I don't know nothing. I don't know a thing. I only know my experience. I know the results based on how people interact with me and where I've taken myself in life by myself, and what my passion is, and my compassion for people to be happy, and it just gives me such great pleasure to see people connect to themselves authentically, out of the mind into the heart, and being able to be themselves, like they didn't even know what they wanted to be because they were so busy surviving with all the details. And Virgo Leo was a lot of details.
Raven, I always hear you talk about the breakthrough to breakdown.
Breakdown to breakthrough.
Breakdown to breakthrough. What does that look in your life currently? And also, can you explain to the audience what that is?
Yes.
And how can they use that?
Thank you for that question. I appreciate that. When you're self-critical, you talked about that, you just want to be the best you can be, especially when you're dealing with people. And I think it's a great responsibility to be able to even share anything with somebody, especially somebody who's maybe feeling broken or feeling not themselves, or low self-esteem, which is rampant on the planet, and other guided and not centered. So with the breakdown to breakthrough, I've been calling it that for the last couple of years. But I really realized with the first dynamic that the whole Raven's Wing is just about that dynamic. Then they can go into the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth. It's just happens. But the first is you're really the youest you can be in the nowest moment. And just, whatever you have to, then how to plan, what nutrients and what the balance is, so that, because actually, when I had the near-death experience, you know what?
So that was your breakdown.
And then, thank you. And then when I breathed myself from death to life, and I will show you a picture. You will not believe it. That you can't lie when you see this picture.
I saw it.
And you saw it. I was 99 years old. And that was 7 or 8 years ago. 9 years ago. It's 2017. And what healed me, what brought me to present time, what expelled the drowningness that I was having, was raising my frequency. That was it.
Now, when you say you saved your life through raising your frequency, was it just by the breath that you used, and you raised your frequency with the breath?
And drowning in your lungs and having a breath is a miracle right there. It seems like an oxymoron,
Yeah.
So that did it, and I said that this is my last hurrah. I'm going to and the triangle that I was able to do was so tiny, and then I got that stronger, and that's all I had to do. I was either going to die or I was going to follow this through. And then when I had that flash pulmonary edema, I called up my friends in San Diego and I said, I'm back. They couldn't believe me. I put myself on video. I look completely different. So, so I was driven at that point, because I was already working on breath, and But when I realized the Trinity was the missing thing, and I found out sacred geometrically that it's between each layer in the octaves. So is the Trinity, and I went, that's that meaning for that.
So it's activating a different sound and a different frequency?
It's stabilizing each octave that we go into. And then so I realized the value of the Trinity breath. Then the second breath is the toroidal breath that I was teaching, but hardly anyone could get there because we were missing. They were hitting the triangle on the way up, but until my near death. And this is measured on a neuro headset. So it's not just my opinion.
It's scientifically.
It's scientifically, and that's what's so exciting because I don't have to prove it. It's like it's not just my thing that saved my life.
Isn't it wonderful?
Woo-woo.
It's exactly.
Isn't it wonderful that science now confirms so much of what the masters from centuries have been relating to us? Can you give us a demonstration of the triangular and the toroidal?
Toroidal. I know. I just say that 3 times fast. Toroidal. Like the planet supposedly on a toroid, and then this is a toroidal breath sequence. If you look at Alex Gray images, there's one that has the whole body involved with the chakras, and then it's a whole tour. I can show you a picture of that.
There's an infinity breath that I learned.
That's what I called it.
The infinity breath. Years ago, that's how I first started elongating the breath. There was a number system, I believe, at that time. I think it was 2, 4, 6, 12. I'm trying to remember the
sequences.
Yeah, the sequences. It was raising by those, like it was doubling on itself, and then going from there, going all the way to the 200s, the 500s. But it had to do with breathing in and breathing in through the front, through the back of the heart, bringing it up over the head. People often talk about cosmic orbit breath, which is more of a circular type thing, front or back, I believe. But the infinity breath would start from the heart, like from the back, either the solar plexus or the heart, and then would come up around, go back through the heart, all the way back around and back up again. And if you could breathe in that way from the heart and kind of picture it going up and over, and every time it would do that, it would go higher and higher up. It would be like layers of infinity that would go up all the way down. And then
talk about multidimensional beings, huh?
Right? Yeah.
Wow. So where this one differs, every breath except for hyperventilation, of course, is valuable because it does different things. Each breath does something, including the Om going across to neutralize. But this differs only, it's just another breath, but I call it the master breath because when you see the Alex Gray, toroidal grid, you're breathing on that specifically. So when you get there, it clears it for you. You don't have to picture anything because I take people from the mind into the heart so that you're coming from, that experience instead of thinking or visualizing, which is all valuable. Is, Joe Dispenza is all his, you have to visualize, but he teaches you how to use your mind so that when you're, when you come to my presentation of how this works, you know how to get into the heart. So what happens is you're breathing on the toroid, then at cause. You're standing at cause. It has nothing to do with any attachment anywhere. You're standing as cause, at cause. And when you do that, it's just your whole frequency, your posture changes, your voice tonality changes, because you're actually just really present. And you don't have to pull in any pictures or anything. That comes before, whatever preliminary thing that you have to do. And we don't do nose and mouth breathing because we're on the whole thing.
Now, how does that differ from so many, we have a lot of breath therapy practitioners. And we've all had the wonderful experience of how that benefits us. So can you give a distinction of a demonstration of the triangular one and the
toroidal. I know.
Toroidal.
I took a while to learn it myself.
Okay, good.
It's one of those trip words.
All right.
So the thing is this is not a competitive situation. It's just another one. But I consider it a master one because it saved my life twice. And this last time was big. And so to me, that was a master breath. I went from death to life. That to me is pretty major. And so the difference is that you're not, in your head, you're not visualizing, you're not doing any mind stuff. You're the clearing breath that I can demonstrate quickly. You do is the only time you breathe through your nose. So it's like, not here, but
Is that the
clearing.
triangular?
No. It's clearing to get ready, because you just can't jump right into it. It's like when you're going to sing a song, you go la 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 la. You warm up.
Oh, I see.
So to get your brain, once you learn the steps, you won't think, well, what do I do next? So the clearing of the clearing of your whole body is for two reasons. Everything's exaggerated because these are new muscles, or mostly new muscles. For regular people, it's all new muscles. So you want to just exaggerate it, because in the end, once you learn it, it's so gentle and so beautiful. And you can clear the cache in a supermarket. People just go, I feel. And you can breathe and have that little sound, and people say, wow, I felt that. Because I've had those experiences. But at first, you have to exaggerate it. So you just go,
Your core.
So this is, clearing the pipes, and you do it until you feel good, maybe 5 minutes, something like that. In the beginning, probably longer, and because you're confused about what do you do next. And once you get the rhythm and you feel like I feel more clearing right now, and then to do the actual breath, it's like you don't do, and you don't do, even in the clearing, you don't do, you go, you send it down, you strengthen that solar plexus.
You use this for healing yourself.
That's how I'm still sitting in here in front of you, and that's why I'm so dedicated. Because if people can learn this for themselves, it has nothing to do with me, then whatever they're facing in life, they can get themselves out of their head, they can get themselves into the heart, they can breathe themselves into coherence, they can just be in that space. I've been around troubled people, and I just breathe and don't say anything, if you can believe that. And then all of a sudden the calm comes, because I'm not doing anything. I'm being. You can't heal anyone. All you could do is represent healing and facilitate healing things. So when you do the actual Trinity breath, it's like, I'm feeling energized, and I had like 4 hours sleep, 3.5. So it's like, I just, for this breath, the first one is a cheek breath. It's just something delicious. Don't think of anything. Just feel. It's all about feelings, like you were saying earlier, except that you're installing the feelings you want. You're not effect of it. You can see it as it is. Okay, that got me. Okay, again,
Observing.
Let me breathe myself. Well, when you get hit with something you're not happy with, you don't ignore it, but you don't wallow in it. You just breathe yourself into presence, and it doesn't exist now.
It's not your identity.
Exactly. Well, you don't want it to be, for sure. So when you clear the cache, you get present, you feel your body. When I meditate, I don't leave my body. You're always in my body. It's like you're feeling it, the whole thing. I don't go away. And that's the idea of the mind sometimes takes you away. You want to be present no matter what. Eyes closed, I'm still present. I can feel the space around me. And instead of going away. So when you just like, now this is difficult for some people. It's the divine sip. If you do it too much, it's and if you do it too fast, it's and you're in your head. You don't want it. So you sip. This is your new lips when you do the actual breath, is sipping through the back of your throat. So it's like YEA or something. And then it takes you don't hold in this breath. Other breaths you have to hold. This you don't hold anytime, because you're getting on this flow. So it's, And see, my heart one is a little raspy, so that says I need work on my heart. And then, if I don't go all the way up and I shortcut it, it's not a criticism. You go, okay, finally how I did the live death to life thing is it clicked. It didn't happen like at once. Finally, when I didn't know what I was doing, I didn't know to even tell you this, But that's what because I couldn't do the toroidal one. I couldn't do the long one because you have to do the Trinity one until you're set to be able to have the bandwidth to do the infinity breath, because it's really like, and you can go on like 30 seconds in each thing. So that takes practice. That's something you're not going to get.
And so these are the things that people would learn on a private session, and then also you do workshops.
That's true, but I'm also going to get in the studio to see if I can get the right mic. There's Chris Ferris, I don't know if you know Chris.
Of course I do.
Yeah, he's my brother, and he's in Greece with this beautiful family and everything. And but he had this $8,000 mic, and that was the one where you can feel the rumble of the heart. So I have to find somebody or rent it. And then, because when you hear this with a Nero headset, you can practice it and have a recording of what you're doing while you're listening to the real deal. And that's the benefit of being able in my Zoom classes to be able to have people access to that. And then, if they measure it on a Nero headset, that's when you actually know that you've achieved being a vortex. I mean, what a wonderful goal, to be at cause, to stand at cause.
Yes.
You don't know anything, but to stand at cause in the I am through the heart.
So, Raven, could you sum up your mission with what your project is and let people know that vision and what they could expect by connecting with you? I mean, we see your techniques and we see that you've studied your whole life to have an integration of what you present to people. Do you want to?
Yes, I would be happy to. First of all, the breath is just your entry. Because anything you study beyond the breath is just going to be another thing, another exercise. But when you breathe yourself into presence, it takes on a whole dimensional appeal, because it is dimensional. Then you have this personal dedication to see your dynamics, all your dynamics, to put it together, to put your first dynamic, to be all you can be. I used to want to join the Air Force, back in the day, and flight runs in my family, inventing the pontoon plane and blah, 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 and so on. So then I realized, well, it's not really happening out there in the way that I was envisioning. And so the breath is the entry point. The dynamics get you to be all you can be. And then there's the Sonic Alchemy Academy, which is incredible. And it's many people that I've invited to the platform that you know and love, and then some. And because they connect, the information is compatible. So it's a new, not even new, but it's a foundation where somebody can just walk in and go, wow, and this and that, and no one has to sell you on anything. These people are tried and true, and these things actually work, and they actually help people. The Joe Dispenzas, there's a gradient to where you take this and then that and then that, and videos and podcasts, it's out there, but just to produce it together so it's in one source material. And then the outcome of that is musicians are learning more about the 432 and how music heals. And I have a specific arena for that, for musicians that I know and love, and some I can't wait to meet. The Baramjis, the Manister Moores. I mean, on and on. My playlist is a dream list. And to have sacred concerts live and streamed, so that the people come informed, like the workshops and the seminars will entrain people. When we have a triptych, to have my first, in Sedona, we'll produce it probably at the high school, and stuff like that, and have superb sound equipment, and then have connections, for all the people that are contributing, have Bobby McFerrin take people through the whole, breathing thing, rather than me. There's people that are used to having people on TED Talks take them to the pentatonic scale. So, he's like perfect for that. And I have people in the corners of the world waiting for this to manifest, but the Raven's Wing was missing, because at my place we would have, sound healings, we would have fire circles, small groups, the small group. Bigger groups, we'd take it to a bigger venue. And then so that it's, it's constantly emanating from this water vortex that I'm on, 3/4 of an acre on a water vortex. And that's another story. But so I have a place for this, and that will then promote the academy will be on Zoom and locally, And then the sacred concerts the first one will emanate from here, and then we'll have lotteries to where what country will the next one be, and it will be available in all languages and simultaneous. So just imagine the wave of humanity across no barriers of people being simple enough to breathe together in this tonality that's very specific, and they'd have, I can go on, and then have the time, we have the time things, and it keeps on rolling over, on the time. So the whole planet is voluntarily doing this, knowing that frequency is your currency and it changes everything. So we can actually, that's exciting for me. We're an ocean of humanity. And though people like us are the crest of the wave that's crashing to shore, trying to, hone it in. And the last drop of water, wherever that is, still moves forward that one little bit, if not crashing on the ocean. So that's my passion. It's doable. I've been in Hollywood. I've done movies. I've done stunts. I've put on productions, and I just never wanted to be there. It was like so watch, just, that kind of thing. It wasn't safe. But I navigated, and I managed to see things, and I managed to know what I want and what I don't want. And I just need, my crews to come together when each level is happening, and invite everybody aboard that has abilities to do their thing within the community. And you can't lose. You can't. And that's how it's we the people. It's we the people, bring humanity to the next level.
Yes.
There's nobody outside of that. Thank you.
As we have been talking and listening to your wonderful teachings and experience, I keep seeing in my mind's eye, there is a Latina lady, her name is Maria. She is in bed right now at the time that she will watch this, and it's some kind of arthritis or something that she has in her body. Rheumatoid
arthritis.
That. I would love for you to give Maria or anybody that has that condition how they can use this technology to help heal themselves. Or any other condition.
Any condition. Well, the thing is, when your lungs are filling up with water, you're drowning. So unless something drastically changes, you're dead. And so there I was. And I wasn't frantic or anything. I just knew I had to continue doing what I was doing because I was starting to feel better and better and better. It was difficult at first because I was, in fact, drowning in my lungs. So if that can happen, it's frequency. So through sound healing, through you, the originator of living in this body, get the sound of your 432 hertz, opening your heart, yourself, and then you have support, or you can, I'll be having ancillaries where someone can play these things that are put together specifically to where they can themselves breathe and get the support of the sound around them to be able to do that. Because I'm just an example.
You experienced 2 near-death?
Oh, yes. Yeah. Well, more than that, but 2 major ones. The other one was very interesting, too. It was before. That's when I met Alex Gray. So, it's so impassioned because I know. And there's other stories, but we don't have time. To where other people were at that threshold. And, so it is not just my success. And so I've been sharing it for free forever. I'm really not about the money. You need it to survive, but I'm just about getting it up. And that's the thing about the first dynamic. What do you want to do? If you get up and it has nothing to do with money, and you just get up, where's your power? What do you want to do? You're funded. You can give money. You've already given money. You already have money. You already have it.
Yes.
And so now what do you do? What do you wake up to? You've been on vacation. You pampered yourself for working your whole life. You've done all that. Now what do you do? What do you do? What do you get up? What do you want to do? How do you want to contribute? Who are you in the now? And you don't have to be this. You can't save the world. And terribly and awfully, you cannot save your family, friends, and lovers. It must be an implant because it just doesn't happen. And then maybe that's why it's called self-mastery and self-realization, self-actualization. On my card, it's, occupy self.me, inquire within. And that's like the Raven's Wing tagline.
Nice. Oh, nice.
And I'm in the work. I'm not there. But I know I've already been through the preliminaries. I took myself through the dynamics multiple times. If you do it 3 times, if you do it 3 times in 90 days, you're different. You are what you've scripted. You are what you've scripted. Not 10 years, 90 days, if you do it 3 times in 90 days. And then, it becomes your life. You're never gonna toggle anymore the way we're toggling now.
If you do what 3 times?
If you do the system, it's dynamics, and Abraham's, like Esther Hicks's 22 processes, asking it as given, that's in there. First you do you identify your dynamics, your condition, and then there's things you can do to up those, and then that's a process. And then you implement based on that I amness, you go into the 22 processes, and that's phenomenal. I mean, because it's all about you. Creation box, rampage of appreciation, and it takes you to a reroute of all your emotions and misemotions. They go away because you're not effect of the projections anymore. You're now emanating who you are in first dynamic, and that's always improving. It's always growing. You're never there, but you're functional beyond functional. You're like totally manifesting because there's no compromise anymore. And that's so fun. and now I'm in the master class of born in 1947, and now I know there's a self and I've carved it out for myself, but still I'm still serving others. And I'm not complaining because I enjoy very much seeing that aha moment come across and being there to, someone to be on my shoulder and rub the back of their heart, and there's so many wonderful things that people can do to help themselves, and then they can, at least their I amness helps those around them that we usually can't help, just by your beingness. And not double-clicking the icon. Go, nope, not double-clicking, because we get presented with these challenges every once in a while, and we have a word to say, but I've learned as many words as I can say. I'm just not double-clicking the icon. I'm just, going to hold sacred space and just not do it. And it's works so well. It's just, I'm so grateful. I'm really grateful.
So is there any final kind of communication that you want to be able to wrap up everything that we've shared today for our audience so that, you can feel complete with everything that you want to share?
Well, I really appreciate having this opportunity to bring it out because, that was my real communication, was to share, that it's not about me. I'm just privileged, and this is my work. It's like my assignment that I came in with on earth, that it took me all those experiences to say, well, what I could have had any of those lives. I didn't fail in anything. I just said, I don't think so. And so what is it all about? And then it's all about just opening the heart. And with the past I've been witnessed, I should say, it's saved my life. My heart is good. I've changed my actual physical condition. My DNA is actually different. My doctor said, what's going on? And I just said, it's this thing. And, what I've shared already. And it's a state of being. Your state of being is your riches, is your wealth, is your everything.
So well said. And honestly, you see, I think that we hear that so much, that when one person elevates to a certain level and you've gone through what it takes to open that passageway, it's easier for others to follow. And I think that's the invitation that you're really delivering here more than anything.
I'm a way sharer. That's right.
You are, yes. You're inviting people into the passageway that you have pioneered through, chopped down the doors.
But all the people, it's not about my method. It's about how I utilize
it all.
Because you can read all you want, but if you don't apply it, it's not happening.
Embodiment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So cheers to the new 80. That is like the elixir of youth and eternal life. Thank you so much for sharing your voice.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you for being who you are.
Indeed.
And giving me the voice to be who I am.
Oh, we are so honored to have you with us and to share your heart and your wisdom. Thank God for those of us who are elders, that we can gather the wisdom in a way that others can be able to accept it if they wish.
I want the recipe of you two.
And then she's this beautiful I amness, just being there.
Yes,
You know, just
absolutely.
lovingly. Yeah.
And of course, we're so grateful to John Strayer and this beautiful hub called Humankind, At Humankind. Once again, we invite you here. Whatever you can do to be here, make it happen. We're happy to have you, and we're again thanking everyone on our beautiful show. We thank Love, we thank Raven, Giancarlo.
Hasta la vista, baby.
We're going to go and do something together.
Isn't she so cute? She's so vivacious.
She's adorable.
Totally that.
Oh, thank you. All right, everybody. Mwah. We love you. We'll see you next time. Be there.